All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Lions Talk Live, morning show edition. I'm going to say this, the Detroit Lions, hold on here, got a ad that's popped up here. 1 second, please. All right, there we go, turned it down. All right, so the Detroit Lions, as you can see from the thumbnail here within, have added a few players to the team. Some of you guys probably know CJ Moore reinstated along with some of the Lions players that were suspended from the league for gambling about a year ago. Now he's back. CJ Moore going to be a defensive player for us, special teams ace. We all get the deal. I thought some of the interesting moves yesterday were the addition of the quarterbacks for this upcoming rookie camp. Some of you guys may know Cade Peterson and Theo Day, the two quarterbacks brought in. Cade Peterson, he's not bad at all, in my opinion. Now, I haven't done a ton of breakdown on him, so I can't give you guys real intimate information. But if you've watched Grand Valley State University play at all, you probably are aware of who this guy is and the fact he can rifle the ball around. He's also not small by any means. He's 6'4", about 220 some odd pounds. So, again, pretty good size quarterback. The other player, the Lions added was Kyle Pico. He's been around, a veteran presence on defensive lines. He's played for the Denver Broncos, Tennessee Titans, among other teams. I think he's played for the Raiders, and now he's going to sign a contract to play potentially with Detroit Lions if he makes the 53-man roster. So I'm going to go over all these guys a little bit more in depth, especially with Theo and Cade, just because I'm going to guess most people don't know a ton about them. But I think it's a good move by the Lions. Hey, you don't know if you can hit the long ball until you take a swing. And I'll say this with each of these two young quarterbacks, you might have something there. They both have been highly successful. And how are you going to find out if they can do it at your level or assist your team? You bring them on in, really basically a no-cost situation like this. All right, real quick before we get into the video too much, do want to say, hey, I know a bunch of you reached out yesterday and also this morning. Jen and I are fine, no problems. Some of you, or if not all of you, are probably aware that Southwest Michigan, the Kalamazoo and Portage area, were ravaged by tornadoes, among other areas around here. I know Lawton, where I've coached for over 12 years at one point, they were hit pretty hard. Decatur, Michigan was hit hard. Mendon, Climax Scotts, Battle Creek, and I'm sure there's a ton of other places I'm not listing. There were reports of up to 5 different tornadoes ripping through those respective areas. I know just from being around here last night, Portage, Michigan, which is basically right in our backyard, got hit with 3 tornadoes. And yeah, some areas unfortunately got hit by more than one tornado. So first tornado goes through and reports are 10 minutes later, another tornado hit that exact same area and spot. FedEx shipping building, which is a massive building, was, from my understanding, destroyed. And first responders were arriving to help, I guess, get 50 to 75 people that are trapped underneath the debris out when another tornado hit just minutes after their arrival. So it sounds like most everybody is okay, but unfortunately there are going to be those affected by it. I know there were other establishments, a shopping mall that was destroyed, and et cetera, but as far as us and our immediate family, we're okay, but thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected by those storms last night, because I know there's going to be a lot of them. All right, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push for 6,700 subs, and we're about 80 subs away. Also, if you enjoy the video today and the channel, hit the thumbs up button. As you guys know, it helps out a ton. Last but never least, if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the state of Michigan, give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Let me use over 30 years in the industry to your behest, try to help you save some money, try to make the process a whole lot easier. And at the end of the day, if I can put more money into your pocket, makes you more money while taking a lot of stress away from you, hey, then I probably earned my payday. All right, let's get going to the show. Welcome to Lions Talk Live. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments section about these guys. We do have some new guys, like I said. As far as my anticipation, Kyle Pico is probably just going to be a practice squad guy. Maybe he makes a 53-man roster, but I would say he's probably a long shot to make it. I just think we've got some real good talent, especially younger talent, at those spots. And I think he might be on the wrong side of that. But hey, you never know. Let him earn it or lose it. As far as CJ Moore, I was more intrigued by that signing, and I do want to credit Jeff Risdon, who was recently on the show, as you guys know, for first reporting this. I mean, there were other people who reported it, but he was the first one that I got information from regarding the Lions signing him. So shout out to Jeff Risdon. I think he's going to be a good addition to this team because of what he does, especially on special teams. And what we've seen with this regime is they really do value special teams and being able to do different things there. We also know, hey, CJ Moore, I want to say he's got something like a 20 yards per carry average when running the football. And I get a lot of that time gimmick trick plays on special teams. But you know what? Hey, stats don't lie. When he's given the opportunity, he's probably rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling for a first down. And now, as far as Cade Peterson, he's the one that I think is the most interesting of the two quarterbacks. And it's no disrespect to Theo Day, but when you look at Peterson and the amount of high volume games he's played in, so games with a lot of meaning to him. I mean, he's accounted in his collegiate career for over 6,000 yards, and that's pretty impressive. He's also got some rushing stats. He's rushed for over 1,200 yards in his career, over 15 touchdowns. And now I add that on top of over 5,000 yards passing his career with nearly 50 touchdowns. Stats can be misleading. I get that, especially when you play maybe some teams that aren't always the greatest. But, that's going to be pretty much anybody who plays from in a college football program that's probably dominant. You're going to face some teams that aren't as great for you. So then I just go down to the eye test. And does he have accuracy? Yes. Do I want to see more accuracy, especially in the little bit of film that I watched on the deep ins and deep outs on the sidelines? Yes. I would also say his arm strength is pretty good. I'm not going to call it elite, but I think it's pretty good. I think he can hit the vast majority of throws that an NFL quarterback is going to be asked to hit. The only real questions I do have is, say, the 20-yard out routes. I want to be able to see a little bit more laser out of them to be able to hit those, because if you know, as probably anybody watching the show understands, when that receiver breaks up and then out, especially on deeper routes like that, if you don't have a cannon to rifle it, the defensive backs in the NFL are just too fast, too good. They're going to relieve you of that possession. Theo Day, hey, I like the guy. He's from Michigan, Canton, Michigan at that. He's got a lot of good about him. I do worry about his arm strength. And that's, I guess, what I would just summarize with him on that. I think he's got potential. I think he's somebody that is going to need a lot more time to develop at the NFL level. Now, doesn't mean you couldn't put him on the practice squad, coach him up for a couple seasons, and then maybe he's an adequate backup. But I think that's probably about his ceiling. With Cade Peterson, do I think he's ever going to be a starting NFL quarterback? No. So, in my opinion, both guys are probably going to be restricted to, at best, being backups. I just think there's more potential because of his size, because of some of the measurables, and the fact that he's been in more big games when it comes to Cade Peterson. All right, let's see what you guys have to say about all this and get over to the Dude Crew this morning, get this show rolling. Oh, a couple of real quick things just before I forget. Tomorrow morning, we got Kurt Steele coming on the show. Most of you guys, I'm sure you're aware of who he is. But, hey, I'm trying to add a few more guests, at least as every other show or such, to try to just change things up, especially in the offseason, give you guys a little bit more different feel, somebody else's opinion. But Kurt Steele, assuming he's okay and everything, but he's not in Michigan, so I'm assuming he didn't have any issues with the storms we had last night. He's going to hop on, probably be on for about 15, 20 minutes or so, and give us his expert, in-depth opinion. So hopefully you all tune in for that. And then this weekend, like I said, Ben Brownman, most of you guys know him, the big blue throw in the end zone at Lions games, at least home games. I get him and the crew do travel to most other away games, but try to get him scheduled for the show this weekend. All right, let's hop on over to you guys, see what the morning's shaking and baking with you guys. All right, Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Superdome or bust, exclamation point. Welcome back, CJ Moore, 100% with that. I think he'll help out a ton on special teams. So he's a gunner. He's an ace. He's got some heart. You know what? And he's had a year to sit around on the sidelines, probably regretting that unfortunate situation. Hopefully, all is well now and steaming forward. Could not have been easy for him watching the Lions' success last year and realizing that he could have been there. So Hopefully he can, him and Quentin Cephas, hopefully they can resume their careers and go forward. All right, Moonscar, what do you got? Good morning, Dan, exclamation point. Do crew, exclamation point. Hope you weather the tornadoes, question marks. Yeah, we went in for a ride, but yeah, fortunately okay. So most of you guys know Jen, my girlfriend, she's an athletic trainer when she's, not a school teacher. And the facility she trains at, it's a place called D1. They were just starting some classes when the sirens went off. Everybody got out, and her facility was one of the ones that were hit like literally minutes after they left. And everywhere around that facility was either obliterated or destroyed. I mean, yeah, I'm just glad she got out. She said she could, when she got on the highway trying to head home, she could see the first tornado coming, and it's a massive one. If for those of you who are friends of mine on Facebook, I know I filmed a video of it on the highway, and you can go ahead and check that out. It's it was a massive tornado. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry, Moonscar. CJ Moore carries rushing average 21.5 yards per carry. Yeah, I was close. I knew it was somewhere around 20. So thank you for that information there, Moonscar. Dave Green's salutations. Don't know much about the quarterbacks or the defensive tackle. Well, hopefully, Dave, you heard what I had to say. But if you want, Google them up, check them out. My ultimate anticipation with Kyle, like I said, Pico, is that he's going to be a practice squad or training camp guy. I think he's on a tough task to make the final 53-man roster, but you never know, man. He could come to shine. All right, let's see. Hookadoo, good morning, coaches and Do Crew, exclamation point. Do Crew, today's mission is Operation Woo! Somewhere Don Burr is not loving this moment, but good morning to you, my friend. Dan, Super Bowl or bust, exclamation points. Woo! Also, could I get a shout out to Nolan and Lorian? I make my kids listen every morning on the way to school. Hey, well, I hope the kids are all enjoying it and enjoying the shout out. So enjoy the day. Also, before I forget too, because I know Jen will get on me because I haven't mentioned in a few shows. If you guys want to order any of the Do Crew or the Woo shirts or anything like that, go ahead and go to lionstalklive.com and you can order all the gear there. So gear, mugs, cups, whatever else. If you guys have other ideas, let me know and Jen will get on it. All right, Detroit D, greetings and salutations to everyone. So back at you, D. Hopefully have an outstanding morning, my friend. All right, Robert, greetings and salutations. Same to you. Bo, woo, too. There we go. Dan, let's make it a wonderful day. There we go. All right. Fair enough. Moonscar, who are the quarterbacks? Didn't see nor hear anything on them. So one's like you've already heard me say it, I'm sure. One's from Grand Valley State University. That's Cade Peterson. The other one is from Northern Iowa. University of Northern Iowa, I should say, and that's Theo Day. They both have had some success at their respective levels. I think Peterson's probably the one, if I was going to guess, has the more upside, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I think they're both going to struggle to make this particular NFL roster. I don't see either one of them supplanting Henon Hooker or Jared Goff. Is it possible one of them really shines to the point the Lions want to keep them as the number 3 quarterback? Sure, it's possible. But I think a more likely scenario would be one of them will make the practice squad and, go from there because they're going to require some development. All right, Silver Surfer, good morning, Coach. Too bad they didn't bring back Quentin Cephas as well. I heard he is with the Bills now. CJ Moore, good move. Yeah, and, considering the wide receiver room and what Quentin Cephas brings to the table, I was a little surprised by that as well. But it is what it is. Maybe that's beyond our purview and the information. Maybe Quentin just wanted to go somewhere new in light of everything that happened, or maybe his representation said, there's a more realistic expectation that you could make the team here, contribute to the team, get meaningful snaps. I just say, K, great salutations all. Coach, you good? Question mark. Heard your area got hit hard yesterday with the storms. Yep, we did, definitely. And, it's probably, looking outside the window here, it's probably the clearest sky morning I can remember in a long time. I mean, the sun's up, moving. It looks real nice outside, but I guess you could say that's the calm after the storm. And yeah, it was bad for about an hour and a half yesterday. They just, like I said, there's one tornado that came through, and then literally 20, 30 minutes after that, there was reports of another one coming through. And then I want to say it was like 15 minutes after that, another one. Somebody was saying, and it all happened so fast, don't hold me to all this, that there was one point down in Mendon, Michigan, 3 tornadoes were on the ground at the same time there. So again, thoughts and prayers to all the different areas affected. I know it's a pretty wide area. All right, Hatman, good morning, Dan and crew. Hope all is well with you after the storms yesterday, brother. Woo! Yeah, we're good. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are affected by it. One friend of mine who lives in an apartment complex. This is no joke. If I could put the pictures up on the show, I'd show it to you. But he heard it coming, got into his apartment, and he said it lasted a couple of minutes. Then he opened up a sliding glass door, and outside the back of his apartment's just like forest, trees everywhere. All those trees were gone to the point where he could actually see another apartment building just beyond the trees. So you're talking maybe like a quarter mile down the road, and it was destroyed. The second and third floors were gone. So thoughts and prayers to anybody at those buildings, and hopefully they were in a safe place and not hurt by those. All right, France, what do you got? Good evening, Duke crew. Yeah, I forget yours is the evening. Yep. Good evening, Duke crew, gang. Storms, question mark. I guess I don't know what happened. Everyone good to go, at least that I know of. Everybody I directly know. I mean, there were some people with some damage to their houses or whatever. I do not know anybody that was, physically affected by the storms. But unfortunately, I know there are reports that some did not fare well from it. But hopefully, thoughts and prayers again. Anybody who endured the storm in Michigan yesterday, hopefully they're okay. All right, Mike the Marine, howdy Dan and Duke crew. Woo, woo! Yeah, Mike the Marine. Guess what day it is? It's a Woo-tastic day. There we go. The Wu-Tang Clan. All right, Jess, what do you got? Good morning, everyone. Holmes never stops cooking! Exclamation point! Adding guys to the team all the time. Yeah, I mean he's trying, man. He's trying to do what he can. I mean, we've all talked about it. We're all privy to it. This team's got a chance. This team, in my lifetime, is probably the team that has the best chance to win a Super Bowl. And let that marinate. Let that sink in. The Detroit Lions have a realistic chance to win a Super Bowl. There are no holes on this team. Maybe you could add some more depth to the team, but your quarterback position's sound. Your running back position. I mean, I'm not going to go through every spot of the team, but this team's in it, and they've got a chance to win it. They are, Holmes, to your point, Jess, he's doing everything right to make sure nothing is left to chance. He's putting as many players out there for the coaching staff to review and figure out, hey, this is the best 53-man roster. This is going to be the best competition in camp for guys who want to earn a spot. And as a coach, what else could you ask for? You want to wear that jersey when the 53s announce, you better go out here and bust your butt for a month to earn that spot. Iron sharpens iron. Guys push guys forward. I mean, I get some people do not want to talk about the Hooker Goff debate, and I'm not here to say that, but I am here to say this. I think it's going to make them both better. I think the wide receivers are going to surprise because guys want to be able to be the guy. Same with running backs, same with the offensive line, defensive line. I mean, think about how much pressure you just put on some of those guys on the offensive line by bringing in 2 rookies, and 2 rookies you traded for. So they're not getting cut, not unless somebody just really does something wrong or talks bad about Mountain Dew. They're coming after it, and you know what? That's going to force everybody to do more and better. Somebody on that defensive line is going to want to be the opening day starter opposite side to Aiden Hutchinson. So you know what? They're going to be balling out. They're going to be working extra hard. They're going to be putting those extra reps in the gym, extra sprints, whatever it is. Somebody's going to win that spot, and that's going to be somebody who is forced into a situation to do even more. And you get it throughout the team. That's what I think the real strength of this team is coming from. It's going to be from within. The talent's there. The coaching's there. Now let the guys just do what guys do and push each other forward. Hookadoo. Just say 2 tornadoes touched down just south of Toledo yesterday. I heard there was a lot of them around, and I did not know about Toledo. Hopefully you guys are okay or anybody affected. All right, see, Detroit D, I believe our defensive line will get more sacks than people think outside of Hutch. Exclamation points, a lot of exclamation points. And I would agree with that, D. Davenport on a 1-year deal. Pascal is in year 3, plus Houston should give us a major boost. Just let him rush the passer. I couldn't agree with you more, D. I think all of them are ready to make a move forward. I also think And again, every coaching staff's different. I can only say what I would do, and you guys have all known it. I'm putting James Houston out there, and I'm not worried about if he gets a little beat up in the running game. Why? I think there's going to be enough second and longs, third and longs where it offsets it all. I also think if you put him next to Reader, I think Reader's going to aid him out a lot. I also think it also frees up McNeil and Hutchinson a lot. So considering that 65% of the plays on offense in the NFL are passing plays. Only 35% should, on an average basis, hurt Houston. But you're also going to challenge them. Say, hey, you want to be out there. You want to not get embarrassed. You know what? You're going to have to help against the run as well. I also think you can back him up. Maybe have Jack Campbell or Alex Malone stand, cocked behind him to be further assisting him in the running game. So it would require a little bit of adjusting on the defense. But I think he's – you guys get my points on him. All right, Bo Arnold family eats pigskins. All right, pigskins picks. Very good, very good. All right, fair enough. Do you eat the pig's feet? That's why I want to know, Bo. Bo, excuse me. Silver Surfer. I'm intrigued by Wingo, Coach. If he can immediately become that explosive element in the defensive tackles, that Chancey / Randall element, John Randall, I'm assuming, then that would open up for everybody else. It would open it up for everyone else. Yeah, I would agree. My only problem with him, and I've said, I think he's got the footwork. I think he's got the athleticism. I think he's got strength. I think he's got a lot of good things about him. My only worry as an interior offensive lineman is his short arm length. Now, can he overcome that? Absolutely. But at least for now, me just, not trying to blow smoke up by everybody and just say every draft pick's, off the charts home run. My worry with him is going to be that wingspan and how much really strong interior offensive linemen, the guards, the centers can control him because he can't get separation from them. Now, he could ultimately prove me wrong, and I hope he does. So wait and see. But he does have a lot of the stuff that you and I can't, Coach Surfer. So if he can learn to use some stuff to his advantage, then you know what? He probably is going to make an impact. Bo, pick 6. Fair enough. I'll go with that. Bo, Thanksgiving. All right. You blame spell check. Fair enough, my friend. Big Eddie, good morning, all. At Detroit D, I agree with you. It's my view the sacks are going to come from more the system versus just a player or two. I think we're going to see a lot of guys flying to the quarterback. Yeah, me too. I know that's been my thoughts since the draft. I thought there was evidence in free agency. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. I thought there was evidence in free agency with the commitment to improve the secondary and the depth on the secondary. Now you add a couple guys from the rookie class from the draft. I think there's more evidence. They want tight, sticky corners, play man-to-man mostly, which allows you to really send the house a lot. They've done a lot. We've talked about it for a while, but I think, you're going to see Jack Campbell get some sacks. Alex Anzalone get some sacks. Derek Barnes gets sacks. Houston, Pascal, go through the list. Aiden Hutchinson. I think everybody's going to be rushing the quarterback and going after him. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack Fox is in there getting some wraps up and some sacks. So, you got to keep Fox happy and keep him gainfully employed since we don't punt the ball too much. All right, Michael D, greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke crew, exclamation points. Let's go Lions, 1,000%. Dave Worthington, what do you got? Good morning, Duke crew, back at you. Moonscar, Hookadoo, France, 2 tornadoes touched down in Portage, Michigan, doing extensive damage. Maybe Toledo, Ohio also got hit also, excuse me. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about Toledo. Somebody maybe in the area or is more privy to that information, let me know. I know we were supposed to have a work event today, but the facility is probably no longer there that we were supposed to meet at. It was a restaurant. If it's still there, it's probably not in operational shape, would be my anticipation. One of my favorite pubs that I've went to for years is a place called Main Street Pub in Portage. And, I know a lot of the people that work there. I've known them for decades, I guess, now at this point. And some of them had some live video of the storm hitting them. And, there's no basement to place, so they just had to make do. And fortunately, everybody, from my understanding, is okay. But, yeah, that's some video watching that storm hit them and, glass just go flying all over the place. All right. See, Lions fan number one, who will lead us in sacks this year? That's my question for the group. All right, I'm going to say somebody other than James Houston. Let's go with let's go with Hutch. Let's say Hutch probably gets 15, 16 this year. Maybe not a massive jump forward from last year or the last his previous years, but I think there's going to be a lot more sacks this year because of the system that we're going to play. I'm anticipating throughout the entire year. Plus the fact that the coverage is going to be stickier, that maybe gives you a quarter second, half second longer to get to the quarterback, and a quarter second or half second probably in most of the world doesn't sound like a huge advantage in athletics. So especially something like getting to a quarterback, that's an eternity. All right, Silver Server Davenport needs the right environment. If he feels comfortable and finds a purpose, cause he is a philosopher, he can wreak some havoc back there and defending the run. Yeah, he could ultimately be someone that beats out my projection for James Houston being the starting lineup. And it doesn't mean Houston wouldn't play. It just means maybe he's not the starter. But, Davenport is an intriguing option. He's got a lot of skills. I think most people agree with that. But we all also know his biggest struggle is just staying healthy and on the field. All right, Steve Rogers, greetings, salutations. The captain was reporting storms were nasty last night. Yes, they were, my friend, and hopefully you and yours are good to go and healthy. All right, Detroit D, Hutch will be the sack leader, especially if he is less double teams. Yeah, if he gets double team less. And that would be my question to you, D, and everybody watching. I mean, I know I have speculated that DJ Reader is going to get double teamed when he's on the field, probably somewhere around 70% of the time. I mean, who knows? Maybe more than that. But 70% is a lot. That is, they are showing you healthy respect if he gets it, 60, 70% of the time. So if that happens, how much can you really double team, Hutchinson or anybody else on that line? If Hutchinson gets double teamed at the rate he was last year, and I want to say that was like 59% of the time, if somebody wants to Google that, they can check, but I want to say that sounds right. So we'll just say 60% of the time. And if they continue to do that, can they double team Reader? Can they double team anybody else? At some point, you need guys to run pass patterns unless you're just going to run the ball all day. All right, Hookadoo, Moonscar, I haven't heard of the damage in Ohio yet. Well, keep us informed. And again, thoughts and prayers. Hey, man. Okay, everyone, just a heads up. My wife said that anyone who makes woo coffee will owe her royalties because she coined the phrase and has trademarked it. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Well, let us know the royalty fees. Man Bear, greetings and salutations back at you. Jedi Sith. Woo! To my coffee there. All right. Trumps for Don Burr. Woo! Exclamation point. Woo! Exclamation point. Woo! Exclamation point. Detroit D. It's not how many sacks, but are the sacks game changing? That's another good question and a great question. Third and short, third and medium. Do you put somebody on the ground to end a drive? Those will be big things, especially late in the game. Bo, kudo number woo coming up. There you go. Is that fair enough? Hookadoo, how much per woo hat man? Quentin, great salutation, y'all. Either of those quarterbacks got a chance. I would say probably as practice squad guys, yes, to make the 53. I mean, man, one of them would really have to jump up, I think, to supplant Henon Hooker as the backup. But stranger things. All right, Gary, good morning. Duke Crew, 100% and back at you. Dave, Terry Arnold is coming out with a song with country singer Walker Hayes. Woo! I did not know that. So thank you for that heads up. Hatman. Hey, Coach, I also saw the Lions brought in the quarterback Peterson from GVSU for a workout. The kid has some talent and a big arm. Any thoughts? Yeah, I mean, you heard me. I think he can hit just about any throw out there. The only ones, and I didn't do a deep dive. He had tornadoes to chase and everything else yesterday. So here's what I can say. I think the center of field is his. Anywhere on the field is his. The immediate out routes, so the 5 to 10 yards, I think he's good there. I think he can rifle it. To me, the only spots that I saw, and again, this is in a real brief review of him, was once you got to about the 20-yard depth on the out routes and the center of the field. So that's where I thought maybe you saw some of the zip come off the ball with him. There's a lot of things that could come into factor there. The fact that you play the vast majority of your games for the Detroit Lions indoors, whether it's at Ford Field or other venues, that could probably aid with it. Now, could he also, with a little bit better training, put a little bit more velocity on it? Yes, that's also possible. I like the accuracy. I like the mobility. I like a lot of other things, but there's going to be a bit of a jump when you're coming from, and it's no disrespect, Grand Valley's got an awesome football program and has for, it seems like, decades now. So being that as it may, there's still going to be a significant jump from that level to the NFL level. So my anticipation is he comes out, does well. You probably keep him on the practice squad, keep him growing, developing, getting his brain more acclimated to pre and post snap reads, some shifts post snap in the defenses, and then of course just the speed of the game. If he can do that with Peterson, I think he probably can cap out as a quality backup quarterback in the NFL. Somebody who's going to be a little bit more than a game manager, somebody who can help actually move the ball a little bit, but he's going to need time to grow. So hopefully that helps out, Hatman. Gary, justice for Eric Cross, Vicksburg. Yeah, and that's man, yeah, that's been around for a bit, and yeah, someday, hopefully for that. So Gary, my question is, are you from Vicksburg? That I don't know, I guess. All right, Dave, I need some woo-woo coffee. Yeah, that's a marketing gold mine right there. I think somehow we got to get, at least, even if it's just for a joke, got to get some woo-woo coffee on the store. I'm going to talk to Jen about that, see if we can get some, because that I think that would be hilarious. Rocky, what do you got? Good morning, all, and hope everyone was safe from the storms. Yeah, same thing, man. Same thing. Hopefully you and yours too, Rock. Rocky, what do you got? The defensive tackle could be a decent addition. Yeah, I think he's got a long shot to make the roster, but that's why you bring him in. You give everybody a chance, and if he earns the right to wear one of those jerseys and be a part of the 53-man roster, then kudos to him. We'll see what shakes out. Hatman, Ed Dave Smith, you have to buy a Motor City Mauler coffee cup for woo-woo coffee. Yep, I think that's probably the only thing that can hold it. So don't forget to go to lionstalklive.com to order your Motor City Mauler coffee cup. There you go. Dennis, what do you got? Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you, Dennis. Brent, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Listening while getting ready to go to the VA in Wyoming. Go Lions. Woo! Good morning to you, Brent. Hopefully you're going to have an easy day at the VA office. So go enjoy it and have a good one. Rocky, willing to bet CJ doesn't make the team? It is possible. It is possible. I'm glad that he's getting a chance to resume his career, maybe make some plays, maybe make a roster. But, you know, he has been out for a year. Maybe that works to his advantage. Maybe it works against him. Wait and see. All right, Patrick, sorry I've been away for a bit. I just lost my wife for 40 years. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick. I'm devastated for you. Thoughts and prayers to you, man. So in a little while, I may be getting a hold of you to sell my house to move to some place else away from the memories. Oh, man. Just get a hold of me, man. And yeah, I don't even have words to say to you, man. I mean, thoughts and prayers. And I'm just sorry for you. And I'll do everything I can to help you out, man. So just get a hold of me when you're ready. And again, thoughts and prayers. Donkey Kong, Super Bowl or bust. Same to you, Donkey. Hopefully having a great morning. And thank you all for bringing in the Super Bowl or bust to the show. Michael, wait, we're going to do with two more. What are we going to do with two more quarterbacks besides trade bait? My guess is, Michael, man, they're just in here to see what they got, kick the tires on them, so to speak, see if one of them can grow and develop. If you can do that, then it costs you nothing, right, to get in there and see if you can get somebody just for the practice squad. Patrick, yes, I do like Peterson. He has some awesome potential. Yeah, he does, man. And again, I didn't do more than probably just a 5 to 10 minute review on him, so it was limited clips. I like a lot of what he can do. There's a couple things like I've already said, I want to see cleaned up. But if you're talking about what the cleanup is a 25-yard pass play, routes over the deep or the sidelines, then that's you're probably in a pretty good starting spot for him. He's got the size. He does have some scramble ability. I'm not going to say he's Michael Vick or anything. He's not, but he does have some athleticism. He can escape the pocket. One thing I would say, noticing in the video, is his footwork inside the pocket to manipulate the way he keeps his hips and his balance. I thought that was actually pretty good. Nothing against Theo Day. I thought he was a little less comfortable in the pocket under pressure when I watched him. But again, didn't do a deep dive on either one of those guys. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt and go from there. Bo, God be with you, Patrick. Yeah, 100%. Everybody in the Duke crew, I hope you're sending some prayers Patrick's way, man. If there ever was time for somebody to be a friend, now's the time, man. I know what you are going through. Hope you have family around. Yeah, 1,000%, man. 1,000%. Shannon, good morning, Lions fans. I'm back at you. Good morning to you too, Shane. I'm Tom Mitch. Cade Peterson here to take Hooker's job. Hooker's time is could be up. Yes. Man, if Peterson pulls that off, that would be a heck of a feat. And my philosophy as a coach, hey, it's the best man standing. I don't care where you're drafted or anything. Who earns the jersey? Up. Yeah, I got you, Mitch. Sorry, Patrick. Yeah, 1,000%. Patrick, at Bo Booth, thank you, my friend, 100%. Doug, someone has to play in preseason, a chance to complete and show. Curious, how much does a team make as a preseason game? Does it pay for these guys? If it saves playing starters, worth it, of course. Yeah, and here's what I'd say, Doug. My guess is the vast majority of NFL teams nowadays do not play their ones in the preseason. And to your point, somebody's got to play. Otherwise, you don't have a product on the field. So the hard part is when the cuts start happening, you have less people out there. So is there potential some ones could go? There is, but I think it would be on an incredibly limited basis. I just don't think you want to risk it. But what it is, hey, let's be honest. It is what it appears to be. It's an opportunity for some guys nobody knows typically that have a long shot chance to make it on an NFL roster, to at least get tape out there for their agents to market to other teams. You hear me talk about scouting all the time. Every team has probably 2 to 4 guys that are just in league scouts watching these games to see if they can find a diamond in the rough, somebody that helps them out. Maybe one of them says, man, I think that guy's got some real potential. We need to at least get him on our practice squad. So it's if nothing else, it's an opportunity for some of these guys to put something out there and potentially keep their dreams alive. So that's where I would say it is for the NFL. As far as the teams making money, they do profit pretty well because those ticket prices really don't flex from preseason to regular season. So they make some money. The players make some money, and a lot of them get an opportunity to just keep that dream alive one more week. Bo, 7-5, brother. Yeah, 100%. It's Chandler. What do you got? Good morning, Coach Dan. How many more spots left to fill? Until the preseason gets here, until training camp, keep filling them. I'm guessing they're going to keep looking for guys to add, bring on the roster. If they feel like somebody has some chance to get onto the team, they're going to keep doing that. And, kudos to them, man. You're giving people chances that might not normally have them, and every once in a while, you're going to find that guy that supersedes expectations, that Terrell Davis, the Tom Brady, whoever else, the St. Brown, the James Houston. You're going to find that guy that somehow everybody else missed, and it does happen. Broski, Patrick, have faith in the Lord. He will get you through 100%, man. And again, thoughts and prayers to you, my friend. All right, Moonscar, that FedEx building was put up quickly during the pandemic to get the vaccine shipped out from Pfizer. It was, but I'm sure it met local building codes. Yeah, it was put up pretty quick, and I don't know about the 50-ish people that were trapped underneath it. Just my big worry was when the second tornado hit. I already know first responders were there thinking the coast is clear, and I haven't heard any updates on that. But again, hopefully everybody's okay. Mild Marker, good morning. Good morning to you too. Hatman, Patrick, I'm sorry for your loss, brother. Thoughts and prayers to you. 100%, man. 100%. I can't. Just sending nothing but love to you, man, and hopefully you get through this. All right, Hookadoo, good morning, Miles Marker. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Patrick, I also like more. Glad he's back. Yeah, and hey, man, everybody makes mistakes. I don't know each of their situations, what they bet on, etc. But to me, it's a good sign that the Lions must not have had any ill will or anything been too damning against them in order to re-sign him. Quentin Cephas, like I said, maybe they offered him a spot. Maybe it was just simply, hey, he thought he had a better opportunity to make the roster in Buffalo than he did in Detroit. That I don't know. Let's start my condolences. Yeah, 100% at Patrick. All right, Michael. So Lions got the quarterbacks covered with 4. Now it would have been 5 if Teddy didn't retire last season. Yeah, it would have been 5 if Teddy didn't retire. It's an interesting situation. If Teddy doesn't retire, what do you do there? Do you keep him? Do you resign him, I guess, and just keep him around to help further develop Henon Hooker or whatever else? Or is it at that point just whoever earns the second jersey at the quarterback spot? Rocky, CJ is a good special teams player, but I wonder if the new kickoff, how that will affect everything. Will this change fullback as we know it, football as we know it? I think there's going to be some change. So if you look at how it was used in other leagues, I thought, you saw some real good returns until teams learned to make some adjustments. And some of that is going to be personnel on the field. You've got, obviously the blocking at the line with both teams is much faster. So there's less run up and slamming. I think that's the biggest thing they wanted out of it is they don't want guys, sprinting basically 50 yards full speed at each other. So you're going to have guys on the kickoff team that can shed blocks pretty dang fast and get after that, whoever receives the ball. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think the intent is good as far as removing more contact from it and less run up, like I said, and slamming full speed. But I do think for a while, until teams really get acclimated, you have some real potential for some guys to do some massive returns just because, again, everybody's going to be trying to get their feet wet. Patrick, what do you got? Moonscar Blade and all the others, thank you for the thoughts and prayers. It is much appreciated. Well, again, we're all here for you. Hey, hopefully just enjoy the show. And you know what? Every day makes it hopefully just a little bit better for you. Miles Meyer, sorry for you. Yeah, Patrick, yeah, I agree with that. Angie, I'm sorry, Patrick. Yeah, 100%. Doug, would have loved to get your idea on how the new kickoff rules are going to affect the type of personnel employed for the 30 to 40 yard line. Could really affect the field position, more injuries. I think there will be less injuries just because, again, both lines are so much closer to each other. So there's less run up, less kinetic build up energy in an explosion into each other. So from that standpoint, I think the new rule, is going to help save injuries and impact. As far as its impact on the game, from a physical standpoint or health standpoint, if you block well, if you've got a kick receiving unit that can really block, I think there's some potential you could return the explosive kickoff return plays to the game and the game changing effect. Mel Gray would probably love being in this version of the NFL versus the last 15 years. And that's a throwback to, late 80s, early 90s Detroit Lions kick returning guys. Mel Gray he's probably one of the best kick returners I've ever seen. So just food for thought. Go check him out if you guys want. Don, ban the woo, 100%. We still need to get a shirt for you that says that, man. I think that'd be funny. Man, Dan, I really like the guests you've had on the show. Thanks for that, man. And again, I'm especially during the offseason trying to get more and more. I have reached out because a couple of your comments the other day to a couple Detroit media people to see if they'd be willing to come on. The big problem seems to be, like with a lot of people, is just the time frame. A couple of them said they would be willing to do it, but it'd probably be a little closer to like 7:45, 7:50. That seems to be about a sweet spot for a lot of people. I know Jeff Risden said it too, that, hey, probably hop on around, 7:45. That way, you got kids to school or he's up a little bit more. So I don't think I'm getting too many people up at 7 o'clock. Donnell Smith, who some of you may know, he's a coaching legend in Southwest Michigan. His verbiage was very on point with a request for 7 o'clock. I think it was something like edited hex no. But he said, maybe like 7:50 or something, he might be up and could come on, but trying to get a few more for you guys. All right. Let's see. Don, Patrick, wow, my condolences to you, brother. Yeah, stay strong. 100%. Patrick, not happy with the new kickoff idea, but we still have punt coverage that CJ will excel at. Yeah, I would agree with that. Brian, what do you got? Deep ins and deep outs and the 20 yards outs that's required. A laser. Yes, you are correct. As you said, you are my exact concerns with Jared Goff. Yeah, it's not a strength for Goff. So Goff is good at a lot of things, especially, I know we talked about him a little bit yesterday. His play action ability is off the chart good. As far as in the NFL, I mean, I'm not going to say he's the best in the NFL, but I'm also not going to say he isn't the best in the NFL at play action passing. I mean, he's that good at it. His body mechanics at selling it, and then his ability to locate immediately after turning his shoulders. I mean, right now I'd say this, until somebody can prove to me on tape that he's not the best, I'm going to say if he's one or two, how about that, in the league? There's just very few guys that do it at his level. Where he's not towards the top is going to be that 20-ish yard out routes towards the sidelines or the deep ends. That's, and you can watch it. It's not just me. I'm a village idiot over here. But when you watch the tapes break down, you watch how the secondary responds at those levels. So they are less concerned with that versus the center of the field and in. And that's one thing, if you remember last year with the Chicago Bears and then like Thanksgiving Day with the Green Bay Packers, I mean, they just massively overloaded those areas. It took a week or two for Ben Johnson and Goff to kind of, twerk the offense enough or tweak the offense enough to where it kind of counteracted it. But basically, in a nutshell, what they were doing is they were having the Bears started. They had two linebackers just overplay the middle of the field. They played zone coverage. Everybody else played man. And it really threw the Lions, Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, everybody for a loop for a while. It really compressed the offense for a bit until they figured out how to work around that. They did, like in the second time we played the Bears were trying to force Goff to throw to the deeper out routes towards the sidelines or the center of the field deep a lot. And, it is what it is. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has weaknesses. It took a while for this coaching staff to fix it. But you can also say when you saw Tampa Bay in the playoffs, and the Rams, and then the 49ers, they all tried to basically do a version of that as well. But by that point, the Lions did have some answers for it. So kudos to them. I mean, one of the big weaknesses I think we've had as a team, and it's no insult to the coaching staff, but when you're new at your job, you don't know what you don't know. So Ben Johnson, in my opinion, is going to be vastly superior having gone through that because now he has answers for that. As a coach, everything you don't have an answer for will get you ran over and your team. It did for about half a month for the Lions because we did not have those answers. Once we formed the answers, teams were less successful running that style of defense against us. All right, Dash, what do you got? Prayers to everyone who lost their homes from the storms. Yeah, and there's going to be a lot. Like I said, there were some apartment buildings just in our area that were completely destroyed. All right, Broski, I bet that CJ Moore doesn't make the team. Get it? See what I said? Yes, and we'll have to wait and see. Let's see, Patrick Broski Bear, laugh out loud. There you go. Bo, CJ is a lock now! Exclamation point. Thanks, Broski. Hey, it could be, man. Detroit Supercell secondary. There you go. All right. See, Trump's outlaw. Nationwide, chemtrails nationwide. Fair enough. Gary, good morning. All grit for life. Exclamation points. Hope everyone made it through the storms. Okay. Question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Hey, Dan, who is this defensive tackle from the Titans? Is he any good? He's fair. Gary, in my opinion, I think he's going to have a hard time making the roster, but doesn't mean he can't. I just think he's a camp body that if he really supersedes expectations, maybe. You look at our draft picks from this year and last year, they're probably both going to make it, in my opinion. Now you look at DJ Reader and Lee McNeil. So that's four that I'm at least thinking of. Maybe there's a fifth I'm not thinking of, but to carry 6 or 7 defensive tackles, I think is a long shot possibility at best. So could make it. I just think it's probably a long shot. All right, Patrick, that's right. Norver, talk bad about Mountain Dew. Yeah, never do that, man. Never do that. Broski, Outlaw Harp, very good. Kurt Steele, what up, Dill? What up, Kurt? And hey, good morning to you too, my friend. Bo, Hooker Crowd, Unka Chunka. I'm hooked on a feeling. I see what you did there. Yes, hookered on a feeling. And I would say he's probably going to be one of the most watched people in the NFL this preseason. And I get every team's going to have selfish desires for their own rookies, whatever. But Henon Hooker, I think he might just come out and get a lot of ESPN highlights. He might get a lot of just national highlights and conversations going. My anticipation, he's probably going to do pretty well this preseason. All right, Silver, good to see Don Burr. I thought he had gotten out of here because of the woos. Yes, and I'm glad Don Burr is always enduring. Let's see, Motown Mitch, the man of steel. What up, though? Yes, Kurt Steele, the infamous one, the hitman himself. Broski, if you want beef, then bring the ruckus. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with. 100% there. Kurt Steele, Henon Hooker will not be a starter in Detroit. He might not be, man. He might not be, but I do think he will be one of the more interesting people to watch this preseason. My guess is he's probably going to do pretty well, and that's going to at least entice some highlights. Silver Surfer, my condolences to you, Patrick, 100% with that. Bo Kurt is not hooked on a feeling. I would say that's probably accurate. Floyd, what do you got? Greetings and salutations, Dan O and Duke Crew. Way to keep things trucking during the doldrums of the offseason. I think the improved secondary will allow our ends a little longer to get home. I agree with that, man. I agree with that. I think the tighter coverage plus the style of defense we're going to play, I think you're going to see a lot more picks, and I think you're going to see a lot more sacks because really every time they complete a pass, they're going to probably get a first down or significant yards. But every time they throw under pressure, which is also going to happen every game, you're going to see some tip passes and some turnovers. They're going to lead to more scoring opportunities for the Lions. All right, Hatman. Kurt Steele, I'm with you on Hooker. There you go. Rocky, Wings has probably heard that short arm. Yeah, Wings has probably heard that short arm length of his football career, but overcome it at all levels so far. Just one more to go to the NFL. Yeah, I agree with you. So, and again, I'm not saying anything bad about him. He's got a lot of good parts to him. He's just going to have to prove himself, like you had pointed out to Rocky, one more time at the NFL level. All right, Broski, Kurt Steele, what up? All right, Motown Mitch, what do you got? Cade Peterson about to snatch that quarterback number 2 job. We'll see, man. We will see. Patrick, I think with this year's defense, the picks will go way up as well with the quarterbacks having to hurry their throws, his throws. Yeah, and I agree. I'm guessing what they're going to do, but my anticipation is from time. I mean, they're going to blitz from all sorts of spots, but I think one of the primary blitzes are going to be overloading X side or O side. So what that means is you have got a quarterback that you have ascertained that, hey, they don't throw nearly as well rolling out to their left, across their body if they're right-handed quarterback. Then I'm going to show blitz from the left side, but actually bring the blitz from the right side. So you're hopefully going to confuse half the quarterbacks with pre-snap reads. Now you're anticipating the blitz here, but it's actually coming from here. Now that quarterback quickly has to read while adjusting the routes. And to be fair, the receivers have to adjust their routes, but you're going to get them rolling across their body and having to throw on the run and accurately against a very tight coverage man-to-man team. That is a recipe against, I'm going to say 50 to 60% of the NFL quarterbacks that does not go well from them. Again, you've got to confuse them in the pre-snap aspect of this for it to work a lot of times. But you're going to see a lot of people get hits on the quarterbacks that aren't normally considered pass rushers. And whether it's Anzalone or Iffy or Brian Branch or whoever. And that's why I agree with like Detroit D. And I know a number of you guys have thrown it in the chat this morning. The sacks are probably going to come from less traditional means and more just an accumulation means. But it also means, man, if you don't have a cannon for an arm, and if you're a little off base, maybe your feet aren't set when you throw, so you can't really get that zip into it. You've got a real window for some opportunities and some picks for the Detroit Lions secondary. All right, Floyd, saw your tornado pictures on Facebook, Dan. Scary stuff. I'm in Texas, but have been crazy weather all over. Yeah, it's not just Michigan. I mean, we normally don't get anything like this. At least it's probably been several years since we have. But yeah, yesterday we got hit hard. This area got lit up. All right, let's see. Kurt Hooker isn't even a proven backup in the NFL yet. Coming off a major injury, Hooker had a long road to prove himself as a starter. Yeah, he's going to have to go out there and do it. I just think, given what the situations will be in preseason games, nobody's really going out there and showing their true defenses. Everything's pretty vanilla. My guess is Henon Hooker's probably going to look pretty decent. If, to your point though, Kurt, man, if he doesn't look great in the preseason, that's going to be a damning statement against him. That might be the somebody pulling the plug in the bathtub and all the water is starting to drain out on him. So obviously, being selfish as a Lions fan, I hope he does very well because you want a good backup quarterback. All right, Jeffrey, what do you got? Good morning, crew. Woo! Good morning to you, Jeffrey. Hooker do Kurt, I totally agree. Broski, Moonscar Broski. I hope I got your harp reference. Alaska is a beautiful place. There you go. Here's Johnny. Lions players say Henon Hooker is the real deal, but let's listen to biased fans. I'll say this, and Henon Hooker could be the absolute truth or whatever you want to say. He could be all pro. That I don't know until we see him on the field. What I do know is I'd have real questions about any teammate that comes out at the mic and says, nah, that guy's pretty average. He's not good. Or if he just says, yeah, he's good. He's all right. I guess where I'm going with that is I would want all teammates to talk each other up. Nobody put each other down. I mean, so that's why I got to be careful when I listen to players, especially when they're your own teammates, talk too much praise about a player because that's what they should do. Now, if it's a player on another team, to me, that has more validity. But I think Henon Hooker is going to be fine. It's just let's wait and see it. Once we start seeing him out there and what he does, that's just going to add another layer of credence to what he is or what he isn't. And right now, we're all guessing. All right, Broski, Calais Campbell will sign with either the Bears or the Lions. It could be, man. He's still got probably a little gas in his tank as long as it's on a reduced snap count. Zane, what do you got? What's one free agent you would pick up if you were the Lions? It's probably, if it was me, it'd probably be a wide receiver. And again, nobody's going to probably come in and challenge for the number 1 or 2 spot at this point. But somebody who could add sound veteran depth, maybe push for the number 4 or 3 spot. That would be me, though. All right, Broski, Kurt Steele, exactly. He's not even a proven backup yet. He played in a gimmick offense in Tennessee, too. He did, man. He did. Broski, I think Lions are trying to trade for Trey Hendrickson. Asking price is probably high. Yeah, I'm guessing the Lions would like to acquire him, like most of the NFL teams. It's going to come down to the asking price to get him, plus the salary. The only thing I would say, Broski, and I know I've kind of mentioned it before, I'm not so sure the Lions really sold on getting a top-flight defensive end or pass rusher at this point, just because the style of defense they're going to play would minimize that person somewhat. Maybe I'm wrong with what we're going to do on D, but if they're really going to go all Blitzburg and everything, do you really need somebody whose primary strength is just basically rushing the passer in a traditional 4-down lineman set or 3-down lineman set? I guess it could be too. That would be my guess. All right, Patrick, the arm tricep muscle is a throwing muscle and to be strengthened. Yeah, 100% with that. Steve Campbell is like 40. Who cares? He's getting up there in age, man. Steve, what do you got? Easy on the woos, Danny boy. The wife ain't impressed. Fair enough, man. Hey, I can only do what you guys tell me to do, man. But yeah, sorry about that, Steve-O. All right, JP. Wow, my condolences, Patrick. I have been married 34 years. Would be torn down if it happened to me. Yeah, 100% with that, man. 100%. Brent, condolences, Patrick. Yes, agreed. Miles, hey, Brent, we know his pain. So sorry, Patrick. Yeah. Brent, yes. Sorry. Brent, sorry to hear that, Patrick. I lost my wife to COVID-19 in 2020. Heart goes out to you. Prayers. Yes, I think it's safe to say everybody in the Duke who is trying to throw you support. We're all here for you, man. Let's see. Kalamazoo HB, what do you got? Condolences to you, Devil Dog, over the loss of your wife. Yes, concurred. All right, Mike the Marine, I'm praying for your brother. Yeah, agreed. Steve, sorry for your loss, Patrick. Agreed. Jeff, can't wait for the schedule release next week. I think Lions get at least 5 primetime games. Yeah, I know they announced, I think they said next Wednesday is their goal to have the schedule fully released. So my guess is the Lions are probably going to get somewhere between 5 and 6 primetime games, whether that's an 8 o'clock start or 4:30 start, something like that. Anyway, we'll wait and see, but that would be my anticipation. Floyd, I don't know that it makes it easier, Patrick, but 40 years sounds like a blessing. I lost my wife after only 10 short years with her. Had to raise our 3 boys alone. Now I'm remarried and blessed. Yeah. Well, thoughts to you all who have gone through it. It's not fun. Floyd, life can bless you in some twisted ways, my friend. Stay the course. 100%. Miles Parker, Hookadoo, glad you are okay down there, bro. There we go. Dale, condolences to my brother, and Simplify Patrick prayers. Yeah, agreed. True Light, Hooker will be a starter one day. It could be, man. Could be. Hooker, dude, thanks, Mike. Miles, excuse me. Brian, a healthy Henon Hooker is going to show the Lions what they've been missing. Yeah, I would say this, at least for Henon Hooker. If we all believe in our GM and our coaching staff, then there's a reason why they traded up to go get him. There's also a reason why once the Lions acquired Henon Hooker, once Brad Holmes made the move, you saw, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 teams immediately trade out of the spots behind. So there were clearly a few NFL GMs who wanted the guy. Now, does that mean he's going to be a starter? No, it doesn't. Does it mean he's going to be a starter here in Detroit? No, it doesn't. But what we can say is if you believe in our coaching staff or believe in our front office, then I'm going to say this, I at least believe in their ability to assess talent and that they see something there. All right, let's see. Michael versus will be very interesting with the new kickoff rules. That's a good point. Vaki might be something with the new schemes and rules. Ditto to JMO. Yeah, you're spot on with that, Michael. I think you could see a lot of trickeration being used, and some of the right guys are on the team to set those up, especially early in the season. Hookadoo just hits south of Toledo. Fair enough. Steve, as long as Goff is healthy, Hooker don't play. Yeah, I would agree with that. Patrick Melgray was awesome. Yeah, just one of the craziest guys out there with the football in the open field. You watch his hips and his ability to maintain speed. So when he made a cut, he did not slow down. Most humans on this planet, they tend to do that. He was not among them. He was superhuman in that regard. I just always wish they could have gotten more involved in the passing games. It just didn't happen. Manu, very good. Yeah, I agree. I don't, like I've said before on the show, I don't have high expectations from him this year, but probably some come next year, and then probably by his third year, I think he's probably going to be something. Here's Johnny. Goff has elite pre-read and mid-range talent when in a clean pocket. Yeah, I agree with that. So, what you're saying, yeah, he's dang good at the intermediate stuff, the short-range stuff, and then on top of that, the play action stuff. So he may not be elite at everything, but what quarterback really is elite at everything? And I get some people say Patrick Mahomes. Okay, well, Patrick Mahomes is pretty damn elite at just about everything you can ask a quarterback, but he's one of one. And that's the problem. If we're always trying to say you got to be this guy, in order to be relevant, then you're probably going to be very disappointed with most of the players available to your team. So make the best out of, as a coach, you set up your schemes that best fit your talent. If you're doing just your schemes and the talent doesn't support that, then in my opinion, you're doing your team a disservice. All right, a couple more here, and then it's been an hour. Anthony, good morning. Duke Group, back at you, my friend. All right, Hookadoo, good morning, Anthony. Anthony, I bet Swift and Williams both get hurt behind the amazing O-line Chicago has. Could be a lot of truth to that. Anthony, good morning, Hookadoo. There you go. Let's see. Moonscar, Swift will probably get hurt just because he's Swift. All right, maybe he'll swiftly get to the sideline then. Broski, Lions fan have a hard on for Swift because they're paranoid he will outshine the Lions running backs when they play the Bears. It could happen, man, but I would say this, just trying to be as neutral as I can be and fair. That, Broski, that's probably my biggest worry with your team is that offensive line. Now, your coaching staff and front office may say, hey, we're good to go. They have more inside information than all of us when it comes to that, and we'll just have to wait to the regular season to find out about that. All right, Brian, can't wait to hear all the Ford Field singing Choka, 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 Chaka. I'm hooked on a feeling. There you go. Hookadoo, you're one to talk, Broski. You were here because you're afraid of the Lions, all right? Could be, and yeah, a little grit. Here's Johnny. Swift had a bad shoulder and shied away from contact. He led the NFL with Eagles O-line in yards before contact, got a contract out of it. He did, man. So, I mean, wait and see what he does, man. Wait and see. We're going to do better than a gimmick O-line Chicago is running. They might have to do some stuff. Broski, Hookadoo, you're funny. Bears match up so well against the Lions. It's great. Bears are tough. Lions are soft. Can't wait to watch Bears maul them this season. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. All right, guys, it's been over an hour. I got to get some stuff done before work begins. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Also, if you enjoyed the video today, hit the thumbs up button. Trying to always get the videos to 200, 300 thumbs up. As you guys know, it kicks it out to more and more people who have not yet discovered Lions Talk Live. So if you can help out, that'd be great. We've got roughly 500 people watching. So if everybody could just hit that thumbs up button, take a second out of your day, I'd be thankful. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys.